So we have the drive shaft safety loop from STIFFLERS, and we have a STIFFLERS cross member, but this is the wrong cross member for this TKX. So STIFFLERS hit me up and they're like, hey, look, you do realize we have the right cross member for that TKX? And I was like, yeah, well, we were just kind of pushed for time. We didn't really have a lot of time. We needed to make something happen. So we both agreed that it's probably best that we go ahead and put a video out to let you guys know that there is a cross member that fits this TKX correctly. So that's what we have in the box now. Here is the cross member that works with the TKX. Now this, you'll notice, is a GM transmission mount. So here's your part number on it. We'll go ahead and pull this out of the package in a second. See how low that mount is? That's key right there. And then here is our cross member. Now it's going to look pretty similar to what we already have, but trust me, there is a little bit of a difference. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing installed. I'll show you guys real quick like how to install these mounts. They're super easy. So for now, let's go ahead and get this thing jacked up. It's important that I show you guys the correct parts, because you don't want to be out here thinking that if you put a TKX in your car that you're going to have to manufacture a new mount, a new cross member and all this. You don't have to do that. There are correct parts. But if you're trying to save money, I mean, there's always options to be able to do that, right? And that's just the way it is. I grew up not having the money to buy every single part that I needed sometimes, so I had to just kind of manufacture stuff, which is what we did here. So Madison's going to help me out. She's gonna film for me today. We don't get to do this a whole lot. So let's go ahead, get this cross member out, and I'll show you guys just how easy it is. You gonna do a good job filming today?
I hope so.
I hope so too. All right, let's do this. Grab our nice Chevy wrench here. That is not the right size. All right, so we've got our transmission supported, and honestly, a floor jack will work just fine if that's all you got. Go ahead and pull these bolts out. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove this mount and put the correct mount on. That's not the right size either.
Turn the screen back on so I could see what you were doing.
Okay. All right, let's go over here and see what we have. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be it. So, as you can see the difference here, instead of swinging in on the back side of the transmission like the old cross member did, this one swings out and has the mount in the back. So this looks to be correct. Now all we have to do is set our adjustments up the way we need them, and looks like we're kind of close where we are. Now this is an adjustable mount, meaning it can slide back and forth right here. So you just need to decide where you need this thing to be, and then you can go ahead and pop it in. So I'm going to assume that this is pretty close here, so we'll put one washer here and then some more on the back side. These spacers go in between the mount and the transmission. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and mock this up. Like I said, guys, this is the GM mount right here. If you got any questions, just call STIFFLERS up and tell them what you're trying to do, and they'll know how to get you situated. Let's talk about a few things. The bolts that came in this, which are these two bolts, won't work for the Chevy location. So these bolts are for the Ford location, which are further apart on the transmission, which these will work. As you can see, these are the bolts that came out, so that's the same size. All right, so disregard those bolts. I ran to the store real quick and picked up these. These are what we're gonna need for the Chevy location of this mount. So all that being said, let's go ahead, let's get these things on. So I'll throw two washers on there like this, set that down, set that down, and remember, you can't really get these confused because of the different sizes of the hole there, so that should work just fine. Anyway, that's what it's going to look like. Let's go ahead and put it on the car. As you can see, we have the STIFFLERS drive shaft safety loop. So we're just going to go through that, use it as a spacer. All right. I put the drive shaft safety loop up top simply because I think it would help with the angle a little bit better of it. So I think we're okay there, but let's go ahead and get the cross member in here and see. Now I'm probably gonna have to loosen this up and move it a little bit, but we'll just gamble with it and see real quick. All right, so what I'm doing now is putting on the spacers in what I think is the correct position. So I feel like this is right or very close. So all I'm gonna do is put the thin spacer back there, here, and here. And then I'm just gonna tap this down.
That's not really tapping.
Sure, it's tapping. Rat-tat-tat-tat. Nope. It's gonna have to be spaced further this way. So you can see the mount is too far right there. So I'm just gonna change this up. It'll be an easy fix. So to fix that, what we're gonna do is hit this until this becomes even with a big spacer. Just like that. And we'll put one big one and one small one. So that should work there. That definitely looks a little better. All right, so now there should be enough movement in the transmission. We can loosen this up and kind of position this either way, just a touch. It's not gonna move a whole lot, but we can move it and get this thing situated where it lines up. All right, so as you can see, looks like we only have one hole that lines up. So we're gonna put one bolt in the center, and I guess that's gonna hold everything. That is the correct setup that you should be using for your TKO, TKX, anything like that. So, all right, I'll get back to you guys in just a minute. I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but this transmission definitely has a downward angle to it. With the belly of it down here just being so large, it makes it look like it's really leaning down, and that's kind of what threw me off. But now if you look, everything is definitely more in line. So I think we're gonna be fine. We got a much bigger gap up here and definitely a lot more room up here. So I think we should be good. We have a new clutch cable on the car. Everything's adjusted out. I got my exhaust leak fixed. So now we don't have an exhaust leak up there on the downpipe. So hopefully our air fuel ratio and all that stuff's good. So these are those little things that were bothering me with the car and just needed to be done. So I'm glad that we found the right cross member, and I'm glad we got a new clutch cable, because my brand new clutch cable that I put on the day we got this thing going with the new transmission laid up against the header and burn up. So got that done now. We got our exhaust leak fixed, so I think that's going to help with my air fuel ratio and all that type of stuff. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and start it up though, and we'll check it over one time. Leak down here, but that's okay if that's the case. Nice. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Oh, Calypso does sound good. It's just unique. Very, very deep and muffled. But she's hitting a little bit. All right, guys, I'm gonna go drive the car, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.